how's it going? So I get asked all the time about my hair. When I've shown hair videos before, my hair is already dry, even though it's curly, and I tell people you just air dry it with the dryer and then flat iron it and curl it. Most people don't get it. So I purposely did not blow dry my hair or did not do anything when I got out of the shower. I got out of the shower today, put in my usual leave-in conditioner, which is Not Your Mother's spray that's Way to Grow. And then I added in a little bit of argan oil, which I always do. That's at home. I'm in the shop right now. So anyway, before I get too involved, if you enjoyed this video, please hit thumbs up. If you hit subscribe, if you haven't subscribed already, and please hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload more videos. So anyway, then I came into the shop here with wet hair. So just to show how I do my hair from, like, say as if I got out of the shower. But I never want to be like on camera right when my hair is wet at home because I don't have any makeup on. So I wanted to have my hair, you know, so then, but of course by the time I came, it had dried a little bit, so I put more water on so that you could see it. Now, right now, because the air conditioning is on full blast in here, so that helps. That helps with the frizziness. If even at home, because we don't have our AC on very cool, the humidity outside is very intense in the DC area. The humidity in DC, in the DC suburbs, Maryland suburbs, is as intense as the South, like South Carolina, North Carolina. It gets worse the further into the Gulf area, Louisiana, Texas, okay? But we are part of that big, it's like a crest. It's called humid subtropical. So it's very hard for curly hair, especially if your hair has a tendency to frizz like mine, okay? So right now, the way it looks when it's wet, if I were to put a lot of gel in this and just let it air dry on a non-humid day, it would dry like this and look great. It'd be fine, and as I say, passable. Okay, but the problem is that my hair naturally, especially with humidity, and especially if I don't have a lot. If I was going to the problem is when you have the next day, when you sleep on that, you have to start from scratch all over again. Then your hair gets more dried out. So then the second day when you sleep on that, then it's a mess. It can be really frizzy and it's a mess. So that is why, or I just would ponytail it and pull it back and just have the bottom be curly. And then I do that for a day, and then the next day a ponytail day, and then the next day. So it doesn't last. When I blow dry my hair, get the water out, and then smooth it with a flat iron, and then curl it with a curling iron, which is the way that you all usually see my hair. That is a very long process, but that lasts usually from, say, if I were to wash my hair on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I wash my hair. And so then it starts out that way, looking flawless the first day. Second day is okay, I just re-curl it, re-straighten it a few places. Wednesday is usually okay. Then Thursday is a day that I might need to kind of run some stuff through it to make it like a little shine drops in it to help defrizz. And then by Friday is usually a ponytail day, or Friday I might wash it, or Saturday I wash it. So that's why, even though it takes a long time the day of, the fact that I can be free during the week. If not, I'd be spending at least an hour every single day with the high maintenance thing, or letting it air dry and just always have that messy, what I call 80s into 90s look, which is okay, but it's not where people say, wow, you have a good hair day all the time. And the reason why I have a good hair day all the time is because I've done all this work. And even when I come on camera, sometimes it's the second or third day and my front has gotten frizzy or my front has gotten limp, and I'll pull up the top and the rest will still look like a hairstyle. And of course it looks nice, but all those days when you see me, those to me are bad hair days because I can't get it. They don't look the way the first day looks, okay? So I get asked that about. So right now I'm going to show how I dry it just to get the water out. And I just kind of do a messy scrunch. Just do a messy scrunch, lift it up. And as you'll see, as I dry it, you'll see how big and frizzy it gets. Which is fine if it was the 80s. But in the 80s, my hair didn't have as much body on its own. My hair was straight and kind of like a weird, kind of funky wave. And it didn't do anything nice. It didn't work for the 80s. And now that the straight look's in, it doesn't work for the 2000s either. Well, it was still too wavy for the super straight look in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and now it's really curly, and I have to smooth it for the beachy wave look. I actually have to straighten it and then curl it with a big wave to get the to have that beachy wave look that people see me in normally. So it's very thick. Each hair is very fragile though, but I have a ton of it. You can actually see how thick it is. It's a lot to dry. I wish it doesn't grow as fast as it used to. People ask me why do I wear wigs a lot. I wear wigs and hair extensions a lot because my hair doesn't grow. I wish my hair was down here. I used to be able to grow out a haircut, my hair this length, and then be it long from the summer, from like the end of a school year to the fall, and my hair won't grow that way anymore. And see how it's just like, it looks like it's dead? That's it's from hair color and highlights. Now, am I going to stop coloring it? No, or else I'd have gray hair. But the problem is when you get older, your texture changes. Your hair texture changes. You don't have the shine. Now of course, I'll do shine treatments. I do a lot. I do deep conditioning treatments, but the texture is still the same. It's a different type of texture when you're older. You can color over the gray. Some people's hair gets, when it goes gray, their gray gets frizzy. Some people, when their hair goes gray, their hair gets limp. Now, or it gets baby fine. I'm lucky I still have good amount of hair, but the amount of hair that I have is frizzy, frizzy AF. And because of that frizz, it's a lot of work. It's not easy. And it's unpredictable. It's extremely unpredictable. So, as you can see, I have to bend over. I have to make sure the underneath is dry. And, people are like, there's nothing wrong with your hair. There's nothing wrong with my hair. But there's a lot of days where I come on and my hair is not looking its best. I know I can pop on a wig. And actually, the wigs help give me a little bit more confidence because the wigs are already styled. They don't look frizzy. They don't have the fuzzy look. I hate the fuzzy look. See, this is the fuzzy look. And it takes so much work. Now, my hair also took this much work when I was younger, but it didn't have as dry of a look. It didn't feel as rough. It didn't feel and it didn't have a tendency to go frizzy. It would hold the smoothing longer, and it would be shinier longer. And my curl was a little better. But now it's more like just frizz. So you can see I'm just getting the water out. I'm not even doing a brush. I'm not even doing a brush. If I wanted to do a brush, I would smooth it with a brush and do that. But I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to show you how I do start to finish. And it takes a lot to get this water out because my hair is so thick. And I'm lifting it. Now, if you have fine hair, your hair will probably be dry right now. But my hair is very thick. My whole family has thick hair. That's one thing. Even when my dad got older, he still had a pretty decent head of hair. But that's the only problem, is it does not grow as long as I like. So that's why I love the hair extensions, because the hair extensions, the hair made in the hair extensions is healthier and shinier. So that's why I like that. There's that one video where I have the dress. I guess I did a live and I had the hair extensions in, and I had on a black dress. And that hair was much shinier than my own hair. And I felt more confident because that hair was healthy and shinier. And then I could just curl my, and it blended it with my own hair, so it looked like it was my own hair. And you notice how happy I am, smiling a lot in that video, because I really feel like I look good in that video, because my hair doesn't have that dry frizzy look, you know. So anyway, this is where I usually would start the other videos, when my hair is already dry and looking frizzy, like this. I'm going to plug in my straightening iron and my curling iron so I can show you guys. Now this one is my work one. This one is extremely hot. It gets extremely hot. This one is a newer one of my straightening irons. It's actually pretty good. Brand wise, it is the Infinity Pro by Conair. And the on off switches to the side. It blinks as it's heating up. So the biggest thing about using any of these implements is making sure they're unplugged when you're done. You know? Because houses have been burned down because of how hot these get. Or you either have a designated space for them, like where you're putting them inside metal, like in a hair place, or you are putting them on a towel and making sure that they're not touching anything, because that's another issue. Okay, I just have to grab some combs. Thought I had them here, but I didn't. All right, so see, my hair naturally parts to this side, or it can go to this side. Either way, I actually really been enjoying the height that I have on this side, so I've been doing it more this way. Okay, so I take the comb, even though my hair's to the side, I take it on a diagonal to go straight down the back, so that it's evenly divided from the middle. Okay. I don't put on the hair products just yet. Okay, so now I take this. It's kind of like a U. Kind of like a U from the back. And I'm going to clip this out of the way. It helps to have, I like these kind of clips because you can grip a lot of hair in them. And then I divide like this. Okay, so Beat the Heat is my heat protectant spray I'm using right this time. Now, some people use those Dysons, and the Dysons kind of do the thing of the blow dryer, the putting on the attachment that you can make to make it smoother, and then you put a thing on, you take out that attachment, and then you put this thing that looks like a curling iron on that blows the air. The only thing I have heard is that for some people, not everyone, but depends on your type of hair, they don't get that hot, even though it's a $600 thing, does not get as hot as a flat iron, so it doesn't, and it doesn't get as curled. So I heard that they came out with a new one that gets hotter for the smoothing, and the curling iron part, or the part that's supposed to be more like stimulate a curling iron, but it's just a heat that's attached to this blow dryer thing. I've heard that they're doing better, that it's a better version, a new version has come out, but it's $700, okay? And like I just said, not all of them not all of it works on every type of hair, because you might have hair like mine that needs, like this is a 425 degree heat that I go over it to get rid of that frizz look, okay? So, there's something to be said for that. My hair needs that heat. And then I go over it with you just saw me go over it with the flat iron. I set down the comb. I pick up my curling iron. I just sprayed the piece with some working spray. And then I turn it, and I use the clamp to help turn, and then use the clamp to release. And then I go back over it with the finishing spray. Wait a minute, unclamp, and then there's my curl. My hair needs that double amount of heat. If I just flat iron my hair, it'll be okay for that one day. But the second day it'll be frizzy and not be good. Or if my hair is from what I just did with the curling iron, it'll be okay for that first day. But because I like my hair to stay smoother longer, the day that I do it is this amount of time. Okay, it takes me it's almost a double, it's like a double thing. And now I'm taking bigger sections to show you guys because of timing, or else I usually do smaller sections because the whole thing, takes so much longer, and I'm trying to not take quite as much time on here because I have so much hair. Like you see, this is the underneath bottom part. I haven't even done the middle section or the top section yet. But this is how, when people don't understand how much time it actually takes for what looks like something where we assume the model or the girl in that shampoo ad looks like she just got rolled out of bed and whatever. That's fine if her hair was smooth, naturally straight, didn't have curl, and then maybe it was straight and they just kind of curled it and kind of threw on some stuff and whatever, So you can see I'm alternating back and forth. I kind of spray the end that helps protect the ends, as well as the ends to mid shaft, so that when and also gives a better hold, so that when I go over with a curling iron, and I'm just curling it away from my face, this side I'm doing that way towards the back, this side I go back. Sometimes I alternate one to the other, but just like I said, in terms of time, that would take more time and more memory and more things to keep track of while I'm trying to talk, and that could be a lot. Okay, so section by section, and there's the verticals. Okay. The spray I'm using is a Goldwell strong hairspray. What I use, I just did the unboxing of this in an earlier video. See, we're already at 18 minutes already. See. And that's just for the blow drying, and that's even curling to this point. So if I have to go somewhere on the day that I need to wash my hair for makeup and hair and everything, it's about 3 hours. And I don't even do, imagine if I was tanning. There are women who are tanning, you're practically dressed, you're getting ready to go to the Oscars every time you anytime you have somewhere to have to go, if it's the day, I'm gonna take that piece out. If the day that you have to do if the day that I wash my hair is a day that has something big, let's say a holiday party, or not even a holiday party, like a Sunday dinner at my in-laws, and let's say it might be the third day or fourth day on my hair, but I don't want my hair to kind of have like a smell, or sometimes some people would use a dry shampoo. But because my hair is so thick, especially up through here, dry shampoos just make my scalp itch and hair feel even dirtier. Now, that's also because, if someone had baby fine thin hair, I have a lot of friends who will do the dry shampoo. And if you don't know what a dry shampoo is, it's a spray or a powder that people use on their hair to help make their hair last the blow dry. What I'm talking about is the styling, go from shampoo to shampoo, last longer without their scalp getting as greasy. That's what people say. Well, does your scalp get greasy? Yeah, well, some people will use dry shampoo. My hair doesn't. It's only on the day, like maybe the day before or the day of, that I need to wash my hair, or the night before, the day I have to wash my hair, then my scalp is really itchy and greasy and whatever. But that's also because my hair is dry and it's so thick. There are other people that have even tighter curled hair, that their hair doesn't get as oily either because the texture of their hair doesn't get. But if you're a guy with short hair and you're sweat a lot, and you can't imagine going from day to day to day to day without washing your hair. That's because your hair's short and the oil doesn't have anywhere else to go but be in your hair. But when you've got a full head of longer hair, it's a little different because it takes a long time for this scalp oil from right here to even get to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, to make this look like half the greasies. So that's that's why. So, you know. So when people say, "Why do you wear wigs?" I say, "It's because I absolutely hate my hair now. I'm not happy with the texture. I put up with it. I'm glad to have it, but you know, the flip side was having finer hair, and a lot of it also is the products I use to help keep it thicker also dries it out a little bit more too, because." And I alternate with those too, because sometimes I'm using products to help the hair come in. Because remember, I had a thinning hair issue, and those products actually kind of dry out the hair a little bit. They're great for the scalp, and they're great for fortifying the scalp and making it be. So now I'm taking more sections. They're great for fortifying the scalp and helping the hair grow, but for the hair that's actually on the head, the hair that has color and highlights and everything, it needs more conditioning. So sometimes I have to alternate and use color products, shampoos for color treated hair, and then sometimes alternate and use products that are really good for the scalp and the hair growing, But this is all what I do because A, I'm a hairstylist, and B, I want my hair to look nice and thick for on camera. And, and just in general, I enjoy having more hair. So that's the flip side. This is what I have to do. So now this is a new section. I'm pulling this down. And I should just take putting this down, sectioning. And this is all here. Going over this with the flat iron. See, we're already at 22 minutes now. This is when usually the husband comes in, says, "Go, you're not ready yet?" No. I've got half a head here, and this side that hasn't even, the middle of this side that hasn't been done yet, and the other half. So this is why. Especially if it's a rainy day and my hair really looks like crummy. That's why a lot of times I'll come on camera and have a plop on a wig, because it is... You do not realize how much work. Now see, I had to get that little section right there to make that so that wasn't frizzy. All right, now here, turning, clicking, and then I'm going to spray this middle section. I'm actually going to go over that piece right there. That's a little breaking piece. Do this a little bit more. Now, don't get scared when you see the smoke. That's just the product burning out off the iron. See how much better, smoother. Now I'm not going to pick it out all the way because it has to cool. All right, so now we have this section to do. Okay. But now my husband is used to how long. He had no idea when he met me. When he met me in 2007, it was the blow dry with the flat iron phase. So I was doing that and then makeup. And that still took at least an hour and a half from shower to finish. Of course, when you shower, you have, you brush your teeth. I have my skincare regime, all that stuff. He didn't realize his mom's not high maintenance at all. He doesn't have a sister, whereas I grew up with a mom who was a former model, and she was still modeling even then when I was little, and two older sisters in the late 60s, early 70s. they were setting their hair on the big rollers or the orange juice cans to smooth out the hair, because they use these orange juice cans. They used to have these cans. They still come. You know, those big things that you get them in the frozen food section, and then you'd clean them out after the orange juice is in there, and there's big things, and people would use them as hair rollers. And because the big roller bouffant that Jackie Kennedy with the full and all that, you see those pictures. And then, or they'd set it on, if they didn't, that was what they did on the hair wash day, and then go to bed with them, and with the rollers, or the second or third day, you set it on hot rollers. And, you know, until the hippie look came in, where everybody just let their hair grow long, but even then, they'd still curl their hair and set their hair on hot rollers, or still wanted to look nice. Our family were very into looking nice, not into, you know, actually my brother grew his hair long and had the nicest hair out of everybody. He had the prettiest hair. But that was the style then, you know, that was the thing. I just wanted to do a little more on this side. Okay. All right. Now, and you can also use the comb too. I use my nails just because I'm used to it. All right, taking this section here. I'm taking this section here. So you just have the middle. But yeah, things are going reasonably well. I had decided to go back to work. I had an opportunity, my friend who, I used to have a salon. This is where I had the area, it's the same place that I had my salon, same building, when I had my own mini salon. But since I've been away from the business, I don't have as regular a clientele to rent my own space. And a friend of mine who, this is her room, she's having surgery, so the room's going to be empty for a certain amount of time, and kind of helping her out doing her clients, as well as getting my clients used to being back in the shop. And it gives me an opportunity to build, because freelancing, doing what I was doing, wasn't really giving me the opportunity to build. So either my own place or in general, you know, kind of people who like doing their hair at home usually aren't the ones that are like super social and doing a lot they're kind of like more home, and they're not really, you know, it's not I might recommend a few, but it's not the same as when you're in a place like this where I can really promote and build. So, and with all the situation, okay, the husband lost his job, my ear issue came back. Now this I'm not curling all the way, I'm just kind of smoothing with the flat iron right in here, and then I'm just going to curl it under, because the front area I don't like to be as tight of a curl as the others. Okay, so my ear issue came back, and that's a long thing. I might have to do just a whole video explaining what that is, but anyway, I was in a lot. It's very painful and can be very, like, debilitating. It's exhausting and it's debilitating. It's almost like the way you feel when you have a cold, or you're like really backed up, except imagine that feeling, but you're not sick anywhere else. You're just backed up in your head, but not necessarily like, but behind your ear, behind in the middle ear. Okay. So that was causing, you know, and that came the same week, the week before July 1st. Then, unfortunately, our dog, who had a lot of health problems, and we were managing them, but we were like, you know, it was getting to a point where it was a lot. And I was dealing with the worst of it, you know, and, you know, not having regular sleep and having a lot of things for a long time. Okay, it's a long time. But, you know, we loved her, we dealt with it, And at any given time, I had to drop everything, and sometimes, you know, clean up or give her a butt bath or you know, do a lot of things. All the things you do because you love your dog, just like the things you do when you love an elderly relative. It's almost the same. And you take it on and you do it because you love that person or that animal. It's part of the family. You take it on, you do it, but at the same token, it's a lot and it's very exhausting. Okay, so I was to that point where I was really facing a lot of burnout and just completely exhausted. I might not come. I try to gear myself up to be on here so I'm not showing how exhausted and frustrated I was, but I really was. And I was almost to the point, I had even said, because I'd known that there was a place there she could go for her last days, her last year, and then, but he wasn't ready to let her go, and I really wasn't let her go, and then we took her to the vet because she had some health issues in May, even worse, some coughing issues and some other, kidney things. We had to keep changing her food because she constant messes and all these things, and so basically, they gave us some stuff to do in May, but here it was, 1st of July, and all of a sudden the dog is just having massive breathing problems, and just very scary and sad. And then, there was a lot of things that happened that day that couldn't take her to the vet right away, and but when we got her to the vet, even the vet couldn't see her right away. There's just a lot of things, and when I get her to the vet, they're like, she has a collapsed lung. I don't even know how she would have a collapsed lung. I just don't know. And of course, you think, if we'd have gotten her, so even if we'd gotten her there earlier that day, it wouldn't have prevented whatever, I almost think it was like dog COVID or something, I don't know. But, just out of life, so now I'm up here and I'm straightening this. So anyway, that happened. We ended up having to they x-rayed her. They said her lungs collapsed. She's fluid. She's all these horrible things. And now I'm spraying the ends. See how much the ends are going to be nice and shiny. And so, it was what it was. We had to put her down. And she was not, but even through the vet appointment, she was not herself. She was, she was just on really literally on her last breaths. And we were glad that we had not taken her someplace else so we could spend that time, those last moments. But good Lord, the emotional toll that takes of making that decision and then when you're home, suddenly your home is different, right? You don't have the same person greeting you at the door, and you don't have all that stuff, you don't have all those happy moments of when you're just bringing groceries in and they're greeting you and all that stuff. So anyway, it was a very tough time, and the fact that he had lost his job, and just so incredibly stressful. And I said, you know what, I've got to go back to work. And it's one way or the other. I've got to go back to work, just to get out of the house, just to have a change of pace, a change of scenery, as well as to kind of get a break from the constant reminder that she's not there. And we're not in a financial position to get another dog. Now, granted, some people just get dogs and they don't, they're not doing the shots and the vets and all, but we want to do it all the, it's a big commitment, it's a big commitment, and we just need to work. If he has a job where he's out of the house, or I'm, want to go back to work, we're not going to be home to take her out and do all that stuff, So anyway, that's when I was getting together with my friend to just sort of kind of get caught up with her and tell her what was happening with my husband and I. That's when we kind of made this plan that, that's when she said, well, I'm having surgery, and, I'm going to need someone to be in the room, and it'll help me out if you do my clients. So yeah, I'm back to work, So all of a sudden it was like I had to pack up all my stuff and, you know, and get started, because, you know, it just helped me. And then the other thing was my husband has a recurring health issue with his foot. He has gout. And sometimes he broke his foot in 2018 doing martial arts. And he likes to think of himself as like a super person, you know, Superman kind of thing. And I'm able to do all this stuff, but he hurt his foot. When you hurt your foot, it's kind of like, all right, now I'm going to put a little bit of shine oil in there, shine oil serum. This one is Moisture Essentials. We used to sell this on Avon, but we don't anymore. I wish we did. So now I'm just going to run it through. This is how when I look like my hair, when you see me normally, this is the amount of work that it actually takes. Now I'm actually going to need to go over this again because that's a little wonky because I was talking. Smooth this a little bit more. So yeah, so he was limping, bringing my stuff in, because his gout acted up, and it was probably due to stress. I mean, because he actually had to stop. He had to stop drinking. He had to cut back beer. He had to cut out a lot of foods that he likes to eat and all that stuff. And so that, you know, yes, you can be on medication. They have medication for it, but he don't, you know, necessarily be on medication all the time. No, there's also cherry juice helps. Tart cherry juice, not sweetened cherry juice. Tart cherry juice helps, and apple. If you take apple cider apple cider vinegar. I see. I'm just working that shine stuff. See, you can see how thick my hair is and how much work it is. It's not even like a normal head of hair. It's like so, you know, and most people say, well, it looks great. Yeah, I had to go through all that for it to look, you know, what I would call commercially great. And then I've worked the shine oil through it. And so he had that issue, and he was barely able to walk. The week before I moved, and luckily by the time I needed to move in here and pack up my stuff, and he and I were moving all my stuff in here, he was able to walk, but he was limping a lot, and I'm not used to moving around a whole lot either. Now I'm getting used to walking from here to bus and taking the bus and public transportation and all that. But it was a lot for me because I was used to, if I have a bad day or if I'm not feeling all that great, just stay at home and just not doing much, you know. I was still I've been exercising, but not pushing myself. Also because we weren't walking the dog anymore, you know. And so, you know, you just, you have to force yourself to be active. You have to force yourself to do it, even if you don't want to do it, because there's so many things you need in life to be, you know, if you're a mobile person, if you can. If you have other issues and you can't, that's a different story. So yeah, so now I'm just kind of running. You can see as I'm kind of working through. Yesterday I gave myself a trim, so it's falling into place a little bit better, and this part is falling in. Usually it would fall here and then be like a lump. That drove me crazy, and that's why a lot of times you see me play with my hair almost obsessively, because it's not, you know, I do anything for it to, the length part to be here and this to be longer here, and this has taken forever to go just from a bang part here to here. That's a year and a half of growth, for it to, because that's my goal was to have it to be down here, kind of like how that side is, and just have it be a swoop and then down, and not have, because I hate this part. So anyway, that's like, I have my own issues. You know, I still like it. The thing is, I either like it either to be full all the way like this and more of like a curl, or but I have to have separation, or I like it to be more curled all around. So, but this is like the happy medium where you have some curl, it's smooth, it's gonna last, you know, it's easy, it looks casual, but at the same time, if I need to go somewhere dressy, it looks dressy enough, it looks finished. I don't look frizzy, you know, I look put together. It's put together, you know, it's put together hair. It looks like I did something. But, and I did. 40 minutes later, I did something. And like I said, it's still not as, because I was showing on video, I wasn't taking as small a section as I usually do. And for the sake of time, or else you'd be here for the full hour and a half. It's actually, you know, like I said, it can be 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours with when I do my makeup too. 2 to 3 hours start to finish, and if I have shaving to do, you know, then that's a whole other thing too. If you're shaving armpits, legs, all that, and shower, shave, hair, smoothing, curling, what else? Then the makeup, and then the jewelry, and then getting dressed. It's high maintenance. It's high maintenance. That's what it is. So those of you all who like the finished product know all the work that goes into it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate how you all have helped me grow my channel. We're now to the other side. He now got a job just this week. He had 3 job offers, which is really great. Had 3 job offers, and now I have a job and I'm working. So I saw an opportunity, and I'm helping my friend, and it's helping us, and so that's a good thing. So you know, unfortunately, we wouldn't have been able to do this. I would not have been able to come back to work if she hadn't passed. So it's kind of like a mixed feeling, but at the same time, it was like, as he said, she was 13 years old. She's had a great life. We adopted her when she was 4 years old, so we gave her 9 amazing years and especially the last 5, she had us all to herself, day in, day out. We both were home 24/7 with her. And so yeah, so you know, eventually, you know, my hope is to get another pet and to have another animal. I always had other dogs in my life where I could go to visit other roommates' dogs, or my ex-husband and I had a dog together when we split up, so I'd always go over and visit that dog. And now that dog passed in 2021, so now we're gonna like try to sometimes see the dogs in our neighborhood or spend a little more time, just because we miss having an animal in our life. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little update. You know, these kinds of things, you know, would pass. My ear is finally better. It's taken about a month and a half now for that congestion to work its way out. I have a client who gave me a tip for decongestion. I had ear surgery for this problem in 2016. Well, it was actually, it started in 2016 and it went into 2017. You can go back into my old videos way back there where I'm like, I'm scared, I can't hear, I don't know what's going on, da 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 da. You can watch those videos. I talk about it, you know, that whole journey. And but anyway, you know, if you're interested, if you have that issue, please let me know. Let me know if you've resolved it, you know. But anyway, you know, things happen, and you know, if you think you know, things are bad, you know, a lot of times, sometimes you have to figure out opportunities, and don't give up, you know. Sometimes you have to create your own opportunities, but the bottom line is, don't give up. Keep looking, keep searching, and keep your friends, good friends, because I'm helping out a good friend, and she's helping me out too. So sometimes having a good friend in your business, or good contacts in your business, can lead to good things too. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and thanks for the support always, and I'll see you next time. Bye.